could just join. It's easy.
How you guys doing?
Good, good.
Doing great.
What was the questions that you had?
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Trent Cruz. I'm from Minnesota. I'm the co-chair of the Green Party of the United States and and chair of the Green Party of Minnesota. Uh,
How are you involved in the Green Party?
I'm also involved through the reparations working group. So the Green Party has a reparations working group, and I'm involved that way also.
In your opinion, how is the annual national meeting going so far?
It's going pretty good so far. We had started it out yesterday with a press conference. Then we had I did a presentation about police brutality and some of the things that happened during the George Floyd era. We also did there was some eco socialist workshops. Then today they started the anti-oppression training workshops with a group called Frailty Myths, and they're doing a really good job. So those workshops are happening right now. And if you wanted to register for it, you can go to www.gp.org and click on A&M, the A&M meeting, and then you can see all the workshops and everything that's going on and what's happening and things like that.
How did you
Pretty
participate in the How did you participate in the annual national meeting?
So far with the annual national meeting, I did a press conference yesterday in the morning where it was myself, some co-chairs, and a couple of other officers within the party. And then we did a police brutality presentation and how it impacts the community, especially our children in the Black community. So we just went over how the children who testified in the George Floyd trial and Darnella Frazier, who taped it, who was very courageous. And then today I participated this morning with the workshop that they were having about anti-oppression and things like that that the Green Party's doing. So I'll probably jump back on tonight to some more of the activities that they're having. And all of the activities are online this year. I think tonight we're also going to be hearing from some comedians and stuff like that, just to have some fun. So it's pretty exciting.
What can you tell us about the Historical Preservation Act?
So the Historical Preservation Act is the one here in St. Paul is designed to preserve historical monuments or historical places where something eventful might have happened. So here on Summit, the Historical Preservation Act is in place, and some of those houses, because they're so old or they date back, have something to do with like certain public officials. Those houses fall under the Historical Preservation Act, and you can't just knock them down or just build something on them like that. On some of them, you can't even build fences or something because of the Historical Preservation Act. So as it pertains to George Floyd Square, we thought the position with the Green Party of Minnesota, something we're discussing right now, is should George Floyd Square come under some type of historical preservation act so that it really isn't open to traffic and that it's more of like a monument. We know a monument where people from across the world can come and visit it, because people from across the world have already been coming to see it and things like that. So we know we don't want that area to be gentrified and they just forget about what happened to George Floyd and start building a whole bunch of luxury condos and things like that. So that's kind of what the Historical Preservation Act is, and that's how it would apply to what is happening at George Floyd Square. And so that probably will be part. I'll be advocating to make that part of the Green Party push, and some other people I know, Mr. Joshua Schuneman and others are probably going to be working on that also.
What steps do you think could be taken to keep GFS preserved?
Can you say that one more time?
What steps could be taken to keep GFS preserved?
To keep George Floyd Square? I'm thinking that Historical Preservation Act could be put in place to do that. And the organizers, the people who have been around George Floyd Square and who want to see it, and community members should need to know what laws are in place that could make it possible to preserve George Floyd Square. And the Historical Preservation Act is one of those things that could help. So we would like Mayor Jacob Frey, the city council over there in Minneapolis, to really consider, instead of building luxury condos and things like that, to have George Floyd Square fall under the Historical Preservation Act.
What does an ideal Minnesota look like to you?
An ideal Minnesota would look like, so right now Minnesota is one of the best place to live for white people, but one of the worst places to live for people of color. So we have a huge disparities here when it comes to housing, when it comes to education, when it comes to employment and things like that. So we want Minnesota to be the best place to live for everybody, no matter what your race, color, or creed. That would be what that's the answer to that question. You know,
as we're finishing up, is there one more thing you would like to add?
Oh, that the annual national meeting is taking place this weekend. You can go to www.gp.org to find out more about it and register. There's a lot of great workshops and things happening, and anti-oppression. Some really good things are happening for the A&M this weekend. So go to www.gp.org and register. And thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. What do you think listeners could take away from this conversation that we're having today?
Well, just to continue to fight for justice, and if you want to join a party that doesn't take contributions from big donors or big corporations and just accept small donations from individuals, because we don't want to be controlled by we believe in people over property and things like that. So I think if you want to be a part of that, if you want to be a part of a party that cares about the environment, a party that cares about workers' rights, a party that cares about ending police brutality and economic justice, join the Green Party of the United States. And I believe the other two political parties aren't doing a good job of addressing those issues. So thank you guys.
It was very nice. Yeah, it was nice speaking with you, and we learned a lot today.
All right, you too. Peace.
Bye.
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 Bye.